Imagine walking into a room where someone has always tried to intimidate you. Maybe it's the co-worker who constantly criticizes you, the family member who always finds a way to make you feel small, or the friend who only calls when they need something. They look at you, expecting the same version of you they've always known, the version who explains, who defends, who reacts. But this time, you simply smile. You say almost nothing, and somehow, they become uncomfortable. The conversation ends faster than usual. Their confidence begins to disappear. And for the first time, they realize they no longer have power over you. Here's the strange part. You didn't argue. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't try to prove them wrong. You simply changed something inside yourself. Most people believe toxic people are driven away by confrontation. But history and Stoic wisdom teaches something completely different. The people who are hardest to manipulate are rarely the loudest people in the room. They're the calmest, because toxic people don't search for strong opponents. They search for emotional openings. The moment they stop finding those openings, they quietly move on. Today's video isn't about changing toxic people, because you can't. It's about becoming the kind of person they can no longer control. By the end of this video, you'll discover 7 silent behaviors that quietly change the way people treat you. These aren't tricks or mind games. They're timeless habits inspired by Stoic philosophy and proven by everyday life. And if you stay until behavior number 7, you'll discover the habit that quietly makes toxic people give up, even without a single argument. So take a deep breath. And let's begin. 1. Stop explaining every decision. Have you ever noticed something strange? The more you explain yourself, the less people seem to respect your decision. Imagine a young professional named Daniel. Every time he made a choice, he felt the need to justify it. If he declined an invitation, he explained why. If he worked late, he explained why. If he said no to helping someone, he apologized first. He believed that if people understood his reasons, they would respect him more. But the opposite happened. People questioned him even more. They challenged every explanation. They searched for weaknesses in every sentence. One day, Daniel changed a single habit. When someone asked him to do something he couldn't do, he simply smiled and said, "I won't be able to." No long speech, no guilt, no defense, just quiet confidence. Something unexpected happened. The conversations became shorter, the pressure disappeared, and the people who loved controlling him slowly stopped trying because they realized there was nothing left to argue with. This is one of the oldest lessons in Stoicism. The moment you stop needing everyone else's approval, you become emotionally free. Here's the truth many people learn too late. Every unnecessary explanation sends a hidden message. I need you to agree with me before I can trust my own decision. But confidence doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't beg for understanding. It simply acts. That doesn't mean becoming rude or cold. It means respecting your own choices enough to let them stand on their own. Not everyone deserves access to your thinking. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Sometimes, a calm sentence is stronger than a perfect argument. And sometimes, silence speaks with more authority than 1,000 carefully chosen words. But staying silent doesn't always solve the problem. In fact, some toxic people become even more aggressive when they realize they can no longer control your words. So how do you protect yourself when silence alone isn't enough? The answer lies in the second silent behavior, and it's the one that makes emotional manipulators lose their greatest weapon. Have you ever noticed that some people don't want a conversation? They want a reaction. They'll criticize you, interrupt you, misunderstand you on purpose, not because they're searching for the truth, but because they're searching for control. The moment you understand this, everything changes, because toxic people can't manipulate someone who refuses to become emotional. And that brings us to the second silent behavior. 2. Stay emotionally unshakable. Picture this. A successful businessman walks into an important meeting. Before it even begins, one colleague makes a sarcastic comment in front of everyone. The room goes quiet. Everyone waits for an argument. Most people would immediately defend themselves. Some would become angry. Others would spend the rest of the day replaying that moment in their minds. But this man simply looks at the speaker, smiles politely, and calmly continues with the meeting as if nothing happened. A few minutes later, something interesting happens. The person who made the sarcastic remark begins to look uncomfortable. Why? Because the reaction they were hoping for never came. Here's a truth that changes lives. Toxic people feed on emotional energy. If they can make you angry, they control your attention. If they can make you anxious, they control your peace. If they can make you doubt yourself, they control your confidence. But when your emotions remain steady, their influence begins to disappear. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that other people's actions belong to them. Your response belongs to you. Think about that. Every single day, people will test your patience. Some will criticize you unfairly. Some will misunderstand your intentions. Some will project their own frustrations onto you. You cannot stop those moments from happening, but you can decide whether they deserve space in your mind. Imagine your mind as a peaceful lake. Every insult is like someone throwing a small stone into the water. Most people spend hours staring at the ripples. Strong people simply let the water become still again, because they know something powerful. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every battle deserves your energy. Real strength isn't proving someone wrong, it's refusing to let them decide how you feel. The calmest person usually has the greatest control, and that's exactly why emotionally healthy people are so difficult to manipulate. But emotional control alone isn't enough, because even calm people can become trapped. If they never learn one simple word, a word that many adults struggle to say, that word is no. 3. Set boundaries without feeling guilty. For years, Emma believed that being a good person meant saying yes to everyone. She worked extra hours. She answered late-night phone calls. She cancelled her own plans to solve other people's problems. Everyone called her kind, but inside, she was exhausted. The strange part, the more she gave, the more people expected. One day, she decided to change. The next time someone asked her for something she couldn't do, she simply replied, "I can't commit to that right now." No long apology, no made-up excuse, no guilt. At first, some people were disappointed. Others became frustrated. A few even called her selfish. But something remarkable happened. The people who truly respected her stayed. The people who only valued what they could take slowly disappeared. That's the purpose of boundaries. They're not walls to keep everyone out. They're filters. They reveal who respects you and who only respects access to you. Here's something many people never realize. Every time you say yes to something that steals your peace, You're quietly saying no to yourself, no to your health, no to your goals, no to your future. Stoic philosophy teaches us that your time and energy are among your most valuable possessions. Spend them wisely. You don't have to be available every hour. You don't have to solve everyone's problems. You don't have to carry burdens that were never yours. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can say is a calm, confident no, because boundaries don't destroy healthy relationships. They strengthen them, and they quietly remove unhealthy ones. Now here's where everything becomes even more powerful. What if I told you that toxic people often reveal themselves long before they ever hurt you? Most people simply miss the signs. In the next part, you'll discover silent behavior number 4 and number 5, 2 habits that help you recognize manipulative people early, protect your peace, and quietly build a life that no one can easily disturb. What if the biggest mistake isn't trusting the wrong people? What if it's speaking before you've truly observed them? Most people reveal their character much earlier than we think. The problem is, we're usually too busy talking to notice. The Stoics understood something that still holds true today. The more carefully you observe people, the less power they have to surprise you. That brings us to the 4th silent behavior. 4. Speak less, observe more. Imagine you meet someone for the first time. They're charming, confident, funny. Within minutes, they're asking about your goals, your finances, your relationships, and your future plans. Many people mistake curiosity for genuine care, but wise people don't rush. They watch, they listen. They notice how someone treats people who have nothing to offer them. They notice whether actions match words. They notice how someone behaves when life doesn't go their way. Because character isn't revealed during perfect moments, it's revealed during difficult ones. There was once a young man who admired a successful mentor. The mentor always gave inspiring advice. Everyone respected him. But instead of blindly following his words, the young man quietly observed him for several months. He noticed something no one else seemed to see. The mentor spoke constantly about honesty, yet often broke promises. He encouraged discipline, yet never followed through on his own commitments. That's when the young man realized one of life's greatest lessons. Never judge people by what they say. Judge them by what they repeatedly do. Words can be rehearsed. Actions cannot. Toxic people often create beautiful stories. Healthy people create consistent actions. The less you rush to speak, the more space you give people to reveal themselves. Silence becomes your greatest teacher, and observation becomes your greatest protection. When you master this habit, you'll stop being disappointed so often, because you'll stop believing promises and start believing patterns. But observation alone isn't enough. Because even after recognizing toxic people, many unknowingly hand them the one thing they should never have. Access, not to their home, not to their wallet, but to something even more valuable, their private life. 5. Protect your personal life. Think about this for a moment. Why do some of the most successful people in the world speak so little about their next move? Because they understand something many people learn too late. Not everyone celebrating your dream is cheering for your success. Sometimes people ask questions because they genuinely care, but sometimes they're collecting information. They want to know your weaknesses, your plans, your fears, not to support you, but to compare, criticize, or quietly discourage you. Imagine planting a tiny tree. Would you constantly pull it out of the ground to show everyone how it's growing? Of course not. You protect it, you water it, You let it grow quietly. Your dreams deserve the same protection. Every goal is fragile in the beginning. When you announce everything too early, you invite opinions before you've built confidence. One negative comment, one sarcastic laugh, one doubtful voice can sometimes slow down a dream that was just beginning to grow. That's why truly confident people don't feel the need to broadcast every step. They let results do the talking. Remember this, privacy isn't secrecy, it's wisdom. You don't have to share every success, every setback, every opportunity, every plan. The quieter your focus, the louder your achievements will become. And here's something fascinating. Toxic people lose interest when they stop receiving updates about your life. If they don't know what you're building, they can't distract you from building it. Protect your peace, protect your purpose, and protect your progress. Because some victories grow best in silence. We've reached an important point. By now you've learned how to stop feeding manipulation, how to control your emotions, how to set boundaries, how to observe people, and how to protect your private life. But the final two silent behaviors are the ones that truly transform a person from emotionally vulnerable into emotionally unshakable. One of them may be the most life-changing habit you'll ever practice. By this point, you may have noticed a pattern. Every silent behavior you've learned has one thing in common. It takes power away from toxic people and gives it back to you. But there are still two habits left. These are the habits that separate people who merely survive difficult relationships from those who become completely untouchable. Let's begin. 6. Walk away from battles that steal your peace. Picture two people standing in the middle of an argument. One is determined to win, the other is determined to protect their peace. At first glance, they look the same, but their goals are completely different. The first person wants the last word. The second person wants the last laugh. Not by humiliating anyone, but by refusing to waste precious energy. Think about how many hours people lose every week replaying arguments in their minds. They imagine better responses. They relive painful conversations. They carry yesterday's conflict into today's opportunities. Meanwhile, life quietly moves on. The Stoics believed that your attention is one of your greatest treasures. Every minute spent feeding unnecessary conflict is a minute stolen from your future. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. At first, it doesn't seem like much. But after hours, after days, after years, it becomes exhausting. That's exactly what unresolved arguments do to the mind. Every unnecessary conflict adds another weight. Now imagine setting that backpack down. Nothing around you changes. The world is still noisy. Some people are still difficult, but you feel lighter, not because life became easier, but because you stopped carrying what was never yours to carry. Here's something emotionally mature people understand. Walking away isn't surrender, it's selection. You're choosing where your energy belongs. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your response. Not every invitation to argue deserves your acceptance. Sometimes the strongest sentence you'll ever say is, "I hope you have a good day." And then you leave. No anger, no revenge, no drama, just quiet confidence. Because peace is never found by winning every battle. Peace is found by choosing the right ones. But protecting your peace creates one important question. Once you've stopped chasing arguments, stopped explaining yourself, stopped reacting, where should all that energy go? The answer leads to the final silent behavior, and it changes everything. 7. Become so focused on your growth that negativity can't catch you.
Imagine two neighbors. Every morning, one spends hours watching what everyone else is doing, who's succeeding, who's failing, who's talking about whom. The other wakes up, exercises, reads, learns a new skill, improves their health, works toward a meaningful goal. A year passes. One person knows everything about everyone else's life. The other has quietly transformed their own. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was focus.
Toxic people want your attention because attention is energy. The more energy you give them, the less you have for your own dreams. But something remarkable happens when your life becomes filled with purpose. You stop checking who doubted you. You stop waiting for apologies. You stop needing validation from people who never understood your journey. Your calendar becomes too full. Your vision becomes too clear. Your mission becomes too important. And suddenly, the same people who once disturbed your peace barely cross your mind. This is one of the greatest lessons Stoicism offers. You cannot always choose who enters your life, but you can always choose what occupies your mind. Every day is an investment. You can invest your attention in resentment or in growth.
You can spend your energy proving people wrong or proving yourself right. The choice is always yours. And here's the beautiful irony. When you become deeply committed to your own growth, you no longer need toxic people to change, because they no longer have access to the person you used to be. That is real freedom. So what happens when you master all 7 silent behaviors? How does your life begin to change? And what is the one truth that almost every emotionally strong person eventually discovers? In the final part, we'll bring everything together with a powerful ending that you'll remember long after this video ends.